You guys might not know this because I usually talk about movies and TV shows all the time and some goofs and gaffs in between, but I really like video games. I mean, I'm complete dog shit at them, but I still like them. Some of my faves are like Super Mario Galaxy, the Uncharted games, God of War, NBA 2K, Super Mario Bros. For DS, all banger games in my opinion. Mostly because I grew up with those games, but I won't let you judge me. Those games are peak. But to me, the one video game that kind of changed the game for me was Spider-Man for the PS4. When this was announced in 2016, I was like a kid on Christmas or a kid on cocaine. Honestly, they're probably not too different. I love Spider-Man, so it's obvious that I would like something like this and be excited for something like this. But I also think it was because Spider-Man is the best superhero to make a video game around. You got the acrobatic combat, one of the best ways of traversal with the web swinging, and the ability to create an interesting personal story around someone like Peter or Miles, considering Spider-Man is widely known as the relatable superhero. He's a character with real human flaws and real human problems. All that together gives you the perfect building blocks to make an amazing Spider-Man game. And a lot of people have used these building blocks and have made Spider-Man games before. We got Spider-Man 2 back in 2004, Ultimate Spider-Man, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, and probably a lot more that I'm not talking about right now. There is a reason that there's like 10,000 Spider-Man games out there, and it's because it's a good concept and it works and it's fun to play. I remember when the game was announced and we saw early gameplay and the hype was unreal. I have never been so hyped for a video game in my entire life. So this was just the most insane shit. I've never been this hyped for a video game in my entire life. And then the game comes out. I go to GameStop to get my copy that I pre-ordered like a month prior. I put it in and well, I don't start it right away because it took a long time to download. So I didn't actually get to play it when it came out. I actually put it in my PS4 and then put that on rest mode, let it download overnight while I slept. But the next day I turned it on and my God, it was the wildest shit I've ever had to endure. It was awesome. From the very first shot of the game, we are brought into this new universe. Great video games always have a really great intro that brings in the viewer, makes them want to continue playing the game, gets them attached to the characters, gets them attached to the universe, and this game does that super well. But like there are other examples. For example, Uncharted 2. You loved the first game, and now it's the sequel. Where do you see Nathan Drake now? Oh shit, he's on a train and it's about to fall off a cliff. Oh my God, climb, you damn bastard, climb the, oh. And then you'll realize that the game is actually in medias res, which means the game at the beginning is actually the game in the middle of the game, which is just, it's so cool. I just shit my pants. Stuff like this pulls the gamer into the story and into the characters, especially when you have a narrative-focused game like this. So does Spider-Man have a good intro? Does the Pope shit in the woods? Wait, that's not right. The first shot has us pan around Peter's one-bedroom apartment, and immediately we see how Insomniac has perfectly adapted Peter Parker for their game. We see that his apartment is a mess. He has gear all over the place. Honestly, the only thing missing in this 21-year-old single male's apartment is the happy tissues, if you know what I mean. Cum tissues. I'm talking about cum tissues. The police scanner is still going while he sleeps, and all of a sudden he hears about Fisk and is all of a sudden wide awake and ready to go. A letter comes from under his door that tells him that he's late on his rent, but instead of dealing with it, he jumps out the window into New York City to stop Fisk's plans. And holy shit, it's so good. I'm just gonna keep saying it's so good every time I talk about something that's so good. And this is so good. Also, we got that banger song playing in the background. Listen to this shit. In a mere 5 minutes, I completely understand who Peter Parker is as a character. I don't think any Spider-Man story has done that this well. And I completely understand where he is in his career as Spider-Man. And we just go straight from this banger cutscene into New York where we are able to play as Spider-Man and swing around. And the swinging works so well. It makes me feel like Spider-Man. Fuck you, IGN. You ruined that saying. All of it, all this whole intro, going out from the window, allowing us, the gamer, to play the game and swing around. It is one of the most brilliant intros in video game history. Don't at me. And then to just follow this amazing intro with an opening mission where we have to stop Fisk. I think the whole opening mission is just perfect because it allows us to like get the feel for the game, understand the story, understand where everyone is at this point, because this isn't a new Spider-Man. He's 23 years old. Holy shit, he's almost as old as me. Oh, I am old. It just allows us to understand the gameplay, learn how to play the game, and learn more about the story. And I think when an opening mission is able to do that in a video game, that's really cool because that allows the gamer to fully immerse in the game. They're immersed. They're ready to play the rest of the game. Like, I sound like an IGN reviewer, but it truly does make you feel like Spider-Man. It really immerses you in the world. Like the whole first mission, we learn about the story. You know, Spider-Man's been doing it for a while. He's working with Captain Watanabe. He's got to stop Fisk. He's been trying to do this for a while now. They teach you important gameplay mechanics like how to swing, how to fight enemies, all that stuff. And it's all just put into the game via the story. He jumps out the window and we learn how to swing. He fights some bad guys and we learn how to fight. You cannot make a more perfect opening mission than this one. Oh yeah, by the way, I might be using footage from where they either changed his face or they didn't change Peter's face. So sorry. Also, if you're still upset that they changed Peter's face in the new remaster and also in Spider-Man 2, maybe you should get a life, maybe touch some grass, get a life and a wife, have some kids, wear a bib. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The face is different now. Get over it. Editor, put some cool like gangster sunglasses down when I said that shit.
You serious?
Did you do it? That's gonna look so cool. I've been praising the opening for a while now because I like the opening and it really is probably one of the best parts of the game. It's really good. But there's more to the game than just that part. The story itself, I think, is one of the best Spider-Man stories ever told. To make an amazing Spider-Man story, you need to understand who Peter Parker is. And this game just gets it. Peter's broke, he's single, he's down on his luck, but despite how shitty his life is, he still always does the right things, and that is what defines him. He could easily give up, and no one would blame him for it, but giving up isn't really what heroes do. Peter understands that without Spider-Man, New York would probably go to shit. So despite all the shitty things that happened to his personal life, he has to do this. I feel like most video games have these protagonists that kind of feel like a ghost. Somebody who doesn't really have a lot of personality and is built more like a vessel for the gamer to feel like they're in the story. Characters like Master Chef from... Did I just say Master Chef? God damn it. Characters like Master Chief from Halo, Jack from BioShock, and the Doom guy from Doom. And I'm not joking. The guy from Doom, his name is actually Doom Guy. You can look that up. His name is just Doom Guy. Those characters don't have a lot of personality because it's supposed to have the gamer feel like they are the character, like they are living the game. And I like that. But with a character like Spider-Man, who we all know, who we all recognize, you have to make a player feel like Spider-Man. You have to make them feel like the good guy. And I think that's where Insomniac really succeeds. When I swing through the city, I feel like Spider-Man. When I punch the hell out of Kingpin's fat ass, I feel like Spider-Man. When I see a little alert on the map that a store is being robbed, I feel like I need to help because Insomniac has adapted Spider-Man and Peter Parker so well that it actually makes us, the gamer, feel like a hero. It feels like we have the responsibility that Peter has. The player is so immersed in Peter's life that it feels like we're obliged to act the way that Peter would act in certain scenarios. If Peter were to see an alert on his map, he'd go save the frickin' bank. If Peter sees a little woman getting robbed in an alleyway, he would go save them. So now we would go save them. And the way that they perfectly made us feel like the hero, I guess it's undescribable. It makes me feel good that I get to pretend for a bit that I am Spider-Man, I guess. Again, I sound like an IGN reviewer when I say this stuff, but I really, truly mean it. Insomniac has somehow perfectly made the player feel like the main character. And not only the main character, but the main character is one of the most iconic characters in history. We are able to feel like Spider-Man. It's peak, okay? Everything from the combat, the swinging, the story, and just how well Peter Parker is adapted makes me feel like I am really Spider-Man. But this game is more than just how well it immerses the character and how well the characters are written. Like I said before, this game has an amazing story, and specifically, it's an amazing Spider-Man story. Also, maybe it's kind of one of the best stories in video games. Hot take. The whole point of the story is that characters are unable to move forward with their lives. Martin Lee can't move forward as he tries to get revenge on Norman Osborn for what he did to him and his parents. In the end, he refuses to move on, to become a better person, and he stays stuck in the past, unable to accept that what happened, happened. And because of that, he ends the story in prison as the bad guy. Dr. Octavius is also stuck in the past. He's still angry that Norman stole his company from him. He's mad that his body is giving up on him. And all that leads him to building the arms and releasing Devil's Breath on the whole city. He isn't able to let go, to move on, to learn, to become a better person. And that's why him and Martin Lee are the villains. And like Martin Lee, he ends the story in prison. The characters in this story who are unable to move forward in their lives and stay stuck in the past are ironically the ones that get the worst endings, as they lose any resemblance of their true selves, as they are fueled purely by revenge and past mistakes. They are unable to grow and learn from their past to become better people. The one person who actually learns how to become a better person and, forget about the past and move on and become better is Peter. I feel like Peter's story primarily focuses on his relationship with MJ. Since he became Spider-Man, Peter has treated MJ like a damsel in distress, treating her as someone who isn't allowed to make her own decisions, and that's the primary reason that they broke up. Throughout the game, Peter has to learn to grow up, become a better person, forget about the past, stop letting it hold him back. He has to learn that MJ is a person who can make her own decisions. And instead of treating her like a piece of glass who could break at any moment, he needs to learn how to work with her and treat her more like a partner rather than someone he needs to constantly try to protect from the whole world. In the end, Peter's finally able to let MJ spread her wings and become her partner instead of her guardian.
I'm sorry I screwed things up. It's just hard being the one who always gets saved, Sometimes I want to do the saving.
I'm sorry I made you feel like you couldn't. Still partners?
Always.
Peter learns from his mistakes, he grows, and he becomes a better person. He's never someone who lets his past get him down. Because if he does, then New York doesn't have Spider-Man. I mean, this guy has a terrible life. He gets evicted from his apartment, his girlfriend breaks up with him, villains are constantly on the run, his fucking mentor betrays him and poisons his aunt and the entire city with deadly disease. It would be so easy for Peter to get stuck, to get on this thought that his past has just betrayed him, and just to get stuck in that specific moment. But he never lets that happen. Because if Peter lets his past get the better of him, then he can't be Spider-Man. He knows that Spider-Man is too important to get hung up on all the things that have happened to him. So instead, he opts to learn, grow, and become a better version of himself. Unlike the characters who focus too much on what happened to themselves in the past, Peter focuses on becoming a better person to create a better future for not just himself, but all of New York. So yeah, this is a great story with so many great moments. The whole story between Doc Ock and Peter and seeing Octavius give up on himself and Peter is one of the coolest hero-villain stories in like any superhero media ever, probably. I've said this 100 times, but a good villain is one that has a close relationship with our hero. And like having him be a mentor to Peter and this closeness that they have, like a father-son bond, just to have him betray him, that shit is immaculate. That is how you write a hero and villain story. This is how you write conflict. And the scene where Peter has to make a choice between giving May the cure now or saving it in order to save all of New York, knowing that he doesn't really have a choice and he just has to sit there and watch his aunt die in front of him, that rocked me to my core. That That was the first time I cried playing a video game. Yuri Lowenthal's performance is so good that I truly believe that Insomniac sent in some goons into his booth and they just beat the fuck out of him, and that's what we're hearing right now.
Okay, ma'am. I've got the cure right here.
Take off your mask. I want to see my nephew.
I don't know what to do.
Yes, you do.
Bro just puts his whole ass pussy into this performance. So yeah, I love this game. I like how it adapts one of my favorite characters of all time and allows me to play and interact with the story myself. Although I do think that the story is perfect, I do think that sometimes the game itself can be a little bland. I don't like the MJ missions. I think everyone can agree with me on that. They do kind of suck. I think everyone can agree with me that those missions can really hurt the story's pacing, and they're really just there to add more hours to the experience of the game, I guess. I think the enemies can get also very samey. There isn't much variety in the enemies you fight. Either you fight some demons with all the same powers, but slightly different weapons, or you fight miscellaneous goons. There are not enough boss battles, and even when there are boss battles, I don't think there is enough variety in how you are able to fight them or beat them. And I just gotta go back. The MJ missions really slow everything down and just hurt the pacing of the game. It sucks to go from high octane Spidey action to walking around some Saber facility looking for some stupid ass file. But despite all of that, I still think this game is perfect because the things that work really well. Spider-Man is perfectly adapted and all the characters are interesting and cool and fleshed out. Combat and swinging work super well and all the gadgets are pretty useful and pretty cool and gives the combat more variety. But more importantly, I just really love the story. I like that it's a story of learning to let go of the past and grow and become a better person. I like that all the villains are the ones who get stuck in the past, while our hero learns from his past mistakes to make himself a better person. Because in the end, I think Insomniac Spider-Man tells a very human story. As people, we can relate to the characters in this game. All of us have mistakes that we have made in our past. It's easy to get stuck on those mistakes and let them run our life by letting it define our character. What we need to do is learn from these mistakes and grow to become better people. And that's what this game tries to teach us. If we get stuck on those past mistakes, we could end up like characters like Martin Lee or Octavius and let it define our character and make us worse. Or we can change. Try to use those mistakes to turn them into lessons to make us better. Like Peter. Like Spider-Man, if we can use our past mistakes as lessons to create a better future for ourselves, then maybe we can create a better future for the world. And I think that speaks to what Spider-Man means to us. It means becoming the greatest version of yourself, not for your own selfish reasons, but to create a better world and a safer world for everyone else. And Insomniac brings that to this Spider-Man. And that is why Spider-Man is my favorite video game of all time. Yeah, this video game is peak. It's peak Spider-Man. It's peak gaming. It's just peak. I could go on for hours talking about how great this game is, but I feel like I've said everything that I've wanted to say. So before I go, I just wanted to say, if you haven't played this game yet, maybe you should give it a try. But I doubt you haven't already done that because I think it's sold like 30 million copies by now. So like half of you at least have had to play this game already. And don't lie to me. I know. I talked to your mom. But yeah, it was fun to talk to you guys about something that I'm actually passionate about. That's not a movie or TV show. This was fun. I liked it. I think I'm gonna dive more into video game stuff in the future. So if you liked it, let me know and I'll definitely do it. But if you didn't, maybe don't let me know. Don't hurt my self-esteem. Just kind of keep it to yourself. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. I like to hear your beautiful voices in my computer. I want to hit 500 subs before the end of the summer. I don't even know if this will come out by the end of summer, but we'll see. And remember, as always, to stay safe, stay healthy, and stay sexy. Okay. Bye!
Reach this fuck,
Eat 'em up, eat 'em up, eat 'em up, eat 'em up. Reese's Puffs. Eat 'em up, eat 'em up, eat 'em up, eat 'em up. I got Reese's Puffs in my bowl. Now my days on cruise control. I got Reese's Puffs in my bowl.